Hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for round number 5 of the 2020 Formula 1 World Championship. The main tier heads to the Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysian Grand Prix. We are here for 12 minutes of the first stage of qualifying, and in the commentary booth today is me, Miran FG, returning back in the commentary booth. Obviously I missed the race last time out at the Spanish Grand Prix, but I now return for commentary duties. And joining me alongside once again for Formula 1, it is Jamie. Good afternoon, or evening, should I say, to you.
Yep, good afternoon, Miran. Looking forward to this qualifying session here. Relatively short one for this as we're doing Q1 as well. As we here in the Sepang International Circuit, which is one of the first ever Asian tracks we're here on the AUCOC Formula 1 calendar for sure, as we're now riding about with Blackwood, who was the first person to be disqualified in a qualifying session last time we were out here last week.
Yes, indeed. Blackwood did not fare too well last time out at Spain, but I think he's one-upped himself here at Sepang by simply making it out of the pit lane. But as we will ride on board with the Jamaican driver on his flying lap, let's go through the track. So, the Sepang International Circuit, located in Sepang, in the Selangor district of Malaysia. It is about 45 kilometers south of the capital Kuala Lumpur, and this circuit opened in 1999 with the sole intention of hosting Formula 1 races. In the same year, it did host F1, and it hosted the Malaysian Grand Prix all the way up until 2017. It also hosts a plethora of different racing series, like the MotoGP Malaysian Motorcycle Grand Prix, and then it also has the 12 Hours of Sepang, which has been held annually since from 2000 to 2016, and is actually planned to make its return next year in 2023. You've had a few different racing series here as well, stuff like GT World Challenge and a few motorcycle racing series as well. But this layout, which has remained unchanged since 1999, is 5.543 kilometers long and 15 turns. Looking at the qualifying record then at this circuit and just the general history of everything, the first running, which was back in 2017 here, it was in rainy conditions where it would be Alfred Klaus who would take his first career pole position and took the fastest lap and came home to secure his second win in his career. Obviously, we did not come here in 2018, however, in 2019, when we returned back here, it would be quite famously Enis Parachki, who was debuting for Mercedes, taking his first ever career victory. And career pole position was a fantastic victory from the Macedonian driver to really just impress the entire ACOC paddock. And it was a very, very memorable victory, and his first of now quite a lot of victories. But yeah, Jamie, as we have the times pouring in, what would you make of the track?
Well, this was the track that back in 1999 was very unique in its time because unlike back then, Formula 1 tracks were very narrow back then. They weren't really like as wide as 20 meters now as we've seen here for Sepang, and it's what very kickstarted this new modern track trend as well. And this is a staple in Tilke drums, but this one is actually one of the finest of Tilke's work actually, because you've got, if you look on the track map here, you've got a series of tight corners, and you've got medium speed corners, and you've got high speed corners as well. This is a track specifically where it's a very well evenly balanced track for sure. It's not just relying on downforce, but you've also got the top speed as well, which with the two back-to-back straights as well, followed by the hairpin as well, which drivers can benefit as well for a maximum top speed layout as well, or setup for their cars rather. But qualifying here will be pretty important as well, given the Sector 2 and the first half of Sector 3 has a lot of high-speed corners, which can lead to some dirty air as well. But that doesn't mean that drivers can gain positions just from gain positions as quickly it's still very possible here, given the nature of this track and its climate as well. This one tends to be very difficult in terms of climate as well, given the location of Malaysia as well.
Yes, indeed. Very, very well said. Malaysia track that poses a lot of different challenges, both when it comes to cornering and when it comes to top speed. It's got a lot of fast and flowing corners, but it's also got quite a lot of sharp braking zones and a lot of blind corners, and there are straights here as well. So it's a really, really good blend of a lot of things, and it's a great challenge for the drivers. I think Chisetti's had an off. Let's see what's happened to Giulia Chisetti, who really has been struggling on her Formula 1 return. And this is into the braking zone of turn number 4. This is on, I believe, an in-lap. She's letting the Ferrari pass, and
oh no,
spun round by, I think that's Laban Zasnishkai. No, that's Luca Farina, sorry. And yeah. Two compatriots coming together at turn 4. I think bit of a miscalculation from Chisetti, but we'll see if the stewards will have anything to say about that. Either way, we have all the times on the board at the moment. Jesper Johansson leads Enis Paraski from Summit Özkan in the Alpha Tauri in 3rd. And your bottom 5 at the moment consists of Victor Albom, followed by Dennis Graf, Josef Fredrik Schuto, Jafari Blackwood, and Giulia Chisetti. As Kai Teresina goes up into 9th, Dennis Graf down in 17th. Now that is looking quite alarming.
Yeah, considering that, I think we've mentioned on the last race as well how I think it's Graf, but the Red Bull drivers tend to do very well in terms of qualifying sessions here. So I wonder if Graf is maybe just a bit too relaxed here qualifying 1 and just taking it easy and preserving the car. Needlessly anyways, but yeah, it's kind of very disappointing there for Graf. You would not expect the position of a car in his standards to be where it is at the moment. However, it's very good to see the Mercedes are trying to go back up a chat now with Johannes and Paritske both 1st and 2nd respectively here in Q1, showing very promising signs for Mercedes now could be back on track.
Yeah, Dennis Graf, we wanted to improve as one man who does it. Quite the improvement is Josef Fredrik Schuto, and the Slovakian has got himself out of the elimination zone. As I say that, Dennis Graf takes away the moment of glory from Schuto and goes up into 14. So he's now out of the elimination zone. Still tethering on the edge, but he is out for the time being. Victor Albom tries to get himself out. At the moment, he cannot, and he will stay in 16th at the moment. We've got Laban Zasnishkai there down in the Ferrari, down in 15th as well. He's just on the edge of the elimination zone as well, so it's not looking good for the other Ferrari driver, who has been beaten by his teammate Luca Farina quite sizably through these first 4 races of the season. So we'll see if the Serbian is going to be able to improve.
Right aboard now with Blackwood now. This is his 2nd qualified session, as we've seen. I think Nielsen go to the pits. No, he's going to go out there in 8th for Nielsen as well. He's doing fairly well. In fact, both Scuderia AlphaTauris will be into Q2 actually in this race, and a top 10 showing as well, which is really promising as well for the Italian outfit as well. Very impressive.
It really is a fantastic Q1 showing at the moment from the 2 AlphaTauris. Özkan, who is leading his the senior Red Bull driver Alfred Klaus, who is in 4th, which is, I have to say, a pretty interesting thing to see. Giulia Chisetti then goes across the line, and she cannot get herself out of last place at the moment, though she gets a bit closer to Jafari Blackwood in 19th. Dennis Graf sets yet another marginal improvement up at the 12th. Goes the world champion, who currently is leading the championship on a whopping 30 points from teammate Alfred Klaus. So far has scored a podium in every single race this season and has never finished outside of the top 2 so far, and that's an absolutely incredible statistic at the moment. Yep. So Dennis Graf, I have to say, Jamie, is looking rejuvenated now that he's made the switch to Red Bull.
I believe so too, and I think the Malaysia Grand Prix will definitely be the one that he'll probably want to capitalize on and win if he really wants to, because only Paritske and Dennis, the other driver as well, of Alfred Klaus, were the only 2 winners so far on the circuit as well, in 2019 and 2017 respectively as well. So that'll be very good for Dennis Graf to add another trophy to his cabinet with a race win in Malaysia for sure.
Yes, and the question will be: is Dennis Groff going to try to break the streak of most consecutive podiums? Currently, that award sits with Enis Parachki. He scored 6 consecutive podiums from the Belgian Grand Prix to the Brazilian Grand Prix. He did not once finish outside of the podium, which is a very, very impressive stat considering it was his first season with Mercedes. So we'll see if Dennis will be able to do it at the moment. He's looking a bit far down, but as you said, Jamie, it could just be Graf trying to relax a bit in Q1 and Q2. We've seen Red Bull take that approach a lot of times before in qualifying. Graf, though, I guess decides to put it into gear a bit as he goes up into 7th and breaks into the top 10.
Imagine that, Dennis breaking Ennis's record for consecutive podiums as well. And as we could see, Mandich as well going into third in the Racing Point.
Yes, nicely done from Thomas Mandic, and Franco Gamba in the Renault goes up into P6. Nicely done from Franco Gamba, and he gets himself ahead of teammate Wojtek Kulasek at the moment. But Thomas Mandic, nicely done from him up at the third, and he goes ahead of Samet Özkan. Mandic, who scored his second career podium in Formula One last time out at Spain, the track in which he won with Red Bull last season. He's brought redemption to himself and to Racing Point, who I believe scored their first podium since
17.
2017
Yeah,
with
in Belgium.
with Franco Gamba at the Belgian Grand Prix. That is
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. I agree. But Mandich as well, as we've mentioned, is currently in fifth in the driver standings as well, and he's actually might be challenging Enis Parichki's place for fourth as well. So there's only 1 point separates them as the qualifying session is now over and people are now finishing their times.
Yeah, so now the eyes are going to be on the bottom 5 in the championship at the or in the timing sheets at the moment. Chisetti goes across the line, does not improve, neither does her teammate Shuto. Both Williamses are out. What about Laban Zasnishka? Can he get himself out of the elimination zone? Yes, he can, and what a lap from Laban Zasnishka. Up into third goes the Serbian, and he has well and truly got himself out of the elimination zone. Tomas Mandic is next across. We also had Emilia Konishina goes across the line. She stays where she is currently in P15. So she's going to have to hope that no one else does improve. Victor Album could be one of them who could try and knock out the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's going to try to do it. Let's see if the Dane can make it into Q2 as he goes across the line. Can Victor Album do it? Yes, he can! And up into 11th goes Victor Album, and that knocks Emilia Konishina out of Q1. Lewis McIntyre's on a lap here as well. I wonder if any of the others in the bottom 5 are currently on a lap. I don't think so, actually. You had Blackwood, I believe, on a lap. I'm not very sure. But either way, we're going to witness Lewis McIntyre as he rounds the final corner, turn number 15. The man is currently in 10th position. Let's see if he can improve. Obviously, not really needing of an improvement, and he does not improve. And yes, here he is. Jafari Blackwood is going to be the final man across the line. Can he join his teammate Victor Album in Q2? That will be the question as he goes across the line. No, he cannot do it. And thus, as we're just going to wait for Fernando just across the line, and that is Q1 done and dusted. And it is Jesper Johansson then who leads his teammate Enis Parachki heading out of Q1 on your knocked out bottom 5 is Emilia Konishina, followed by Jafari Blackwood, Giulia Cesetti, Josef Fredrik Schuto, and Daniel Wale. So then, that's Q1 done and dusted. Mercedes once again running 1-2 here in Q1, Jamie. Do you think it's once again the pattern we've seen all season with Mercedes going all out in Q1 and Q2 and Red Bull are just saving up the car?
Yeah, especially whenever you consider the first 2 drivers in Red Bull weren't being very strong initially at first for the first qualifying session as well. It could be a facade for Red Bull, as always. It's always been for all the qualifying sessions, and maybe they'll just capitalize in Q3 as well. But I hope Mercedes have learned their lesson from those last few races as well, because we kind of need a Mercedes pole sitter here for this season and for one to win a race and get a very good chance of it as well.
Yeah, it's we'll see if they will be able to do it. Obviously, the word is at Red Bull that they aren't bringing any new upgrades so far to Sepang, so we'll see if that will affect them. Or we'll see how it will go then as we approach Q2, and Victor Albom will be the man first out on track, the man who is basically an icon with the Haas team. Proudly remembered for sporting the black, white, and red of the Haas Formula One team. And he has stuck with the American outfit since his Formula One debut back in 2017. But many people do fail to forget that this man did not debut in Formula One. He debuted in Formula 2 with racing engineering. He was partnering Daniel Fraser in the first 4 races of the season, and he picked up his first career win at the Spanish Grand Prix when he won that from pole position. And that would actually be his only point-scoring appearance in Formula 2. He was contracted to a reserve role with Haas throughout the start of the season, and thus he was awarded a drive with the Haas team at the British Grand Prix when one of their drivers would move teams to Williams. So Albon earned the call-up to Formula 1. He beat his teammate that season by about 5 points, and obviously Haas would contract him for another season. It was another strong season, obviously, for Haas, their best to date, I believe. However, he would obviously be beaten by his teammate Ruslan Protsiuk that season. The latter scoring the first podium for Haas. That was at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That would be Haas' first and to date only podium. But Albon would finish 11th, ahead of a certain Enis Paratsky in the McLaren. 2019 obviously would see him be partnered with Jafari Blackwood. Would not be the greatest of seasons for Haas, where they finished P18 and P19. Blackwood would beat Albon by 1 point to the 2019 championship due to the Japanese Grand Prix, which was quite a controversial race, but Blackwood would come home with points and Albon unfortunately could not. But now in 2020, Haas still shows signs of a struggle, yet Albon has remained adamant that the team will brave these struggles. The question is how his future with the American team will be, as he now heads through turn number 12 through sector 2, or sector 3 assist, and then turn 13 into the blind braking zone of turn number 14, and then out of the back straight here to get a very, very good run at turn 14 and then into 15. And then you could try and move into this final corner if you're daring enough into turn number 15, the last and final corner, and get the best exit possible, and then just down the start finish straight and across the line to set your first lap. That's a 1:38.144 from Victor Albom.
Yep, that was a very good lap there from the Haas driver, the Danish Haas driver as well. Very interesting career, as you highlighted, as we went for the lap of the Sepang circuit as well. I think he seems pretty determined as well to stay in that Haas and maybe to climb back up, as we've seen Kai Cesare in the racing point now beats him up by 2 seconds now. And then Gamba as well for the Renault driver. He's 1:37.2, and Paritsky for the Mercedes driver, he does a 1:36.2, and Dennis Graffin, the Red Bull driver, very surprisingly goes a bit faster as well. He's not actually holding back as well. And Nelson for the Scuderia AlphaTauri once again continues to show their strong presence and follows up with a 4th.
Yeah, so Nilsson proving that AlphaTauri still do have it. Fernando Tost currently then in 6th behind his former teammate Franco Gamba. It's Alfred Klaus by 1,000th of a second behind Dennis Graf. But Thomas Mandic, look at this. He's gone past the 2 Red Bulls in the racing point, 1:36.587, and currently sits in 2nd position. Salmet Özkan with a great lap as well, ahead of Kai Trezhnia and teammate Emil Nilsson at the moment. Özkan who missed out on the Red Bull drive. Obviously, I think he was one of the main contenders for that Red Bull seat last season. So yeah, we will see if we'll see how things will go for the Swede this time then, as Luca Farina goes up into 8th. So Ferrari in the top 10 at least. We'll see how they will fare in Q2, because now they will be nearing elimination territory, waiting for Zasnička to cross the line, and Zasnička cannot get himself into the top 10, and Jesper Johansson, final man across the line, and he goes fast ahead of Enis Provatsky. So, Jamie, traditional Mercedes 1-2 here in Q2. What do you make of the grid so far?
I'm really surprised, like at first, how much Red Bull were pushing here in qualifying too, because as we've seen in the past in previous qualifying sessions, they don't normally push until like the final minute and a bit as well. So to find like Graf and Klaus actually pushing, and now look at that, they were like 100ths away from each other as well, which is very interesting as well. But yeah, I'm surprised at the strong showing from them so early as well. But man, the surprise of Mandic and the AlphaTauri drivers, as we see, Clochets nearly goes wide. But that performance from those three drivers are absolutely outstanding. It's amazing to see both Scuderia AlphaTauri drivers both pushing for Q3, and Mandic as well continuing with his momentum from from Spain to go ahead and to clinch a top 3 finish ahead of both Red Bull drivers. That is absolutely unbelievable as well, and the Croatian driver should be really happy about that.
Yeah, Mandic, obviously, who had quite a... he struggled quite a lot with Red Bull despite his race win. He did struggle a lot with Red Bull, and from what it seemed, Mandic just did not seem to be too comfortable with the team. And I think things are looking quite a lot better now that Thomas has switched teams to Racing Point, as Lavan Zasnička goes up into P6. Nicely done from the Serbian, then, as he gets himself ahead of his teammate Luca Farina. Dennis Graf gets himself ahead of the Racing Point, then Thomas Mandic, the man who he replaced at Red Bull, obviously. And that sees Dennis Graf with a 1:36.586, currently 5 tenths off to Mercedes. So Mercedes and Red Bull, there's quite a big bit of a difference in terms of the gap right now.
Yeah, 4 tenths as well, but it is still only qualifying 2. I think Red Bull might still be hiding their pace as well. Like we've mentioned before, they don't give it all off. But who knows, maybe Graf or Klaus can maybe end up getting pole position as well, or even a surprise Mandic as well, given his chances and his performances as well. I won't even be surprised if he tries and gets pole and he succeeds as well.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. Racing Point, obviously. But with 1.5 minutes to go, then, your bottom 5 at the moment consists of Kaj Čerešnia, Wojtek Kulasek, Emil Nilsson, Fernando Tost, and Viktor Ahlbom, who just crossed the line and unfortunately could not improve. Tost, then in the McLaren, I think is going to be one of the talking points, considering we know how big of a qualifier he is. So it's a bit weird to see that he is unable to get himself out of the bottom 5 at the moment. But he is on a lap here, so let's see if he can improve then as he heads down the back straight.
Absolutely, he's only got one hairpin to go. He needs to perfect this turn. That turn there can either make or break your lap as well, as he goes here and enters in for the final corner now, and then onto the home straight then as well. Get a good exit there. He uses the apex, and he's going to go ahead and cross the line with only 40 seconds to go. And he does it. He's up to 8th.
Nicely done then from Fernando Tost. And both McLarens now are running into Q3, but that's not Franco Gamba out of Q2 at the moment, and both Renaults are facing elimination here, so this could be make or break between McLaren and Renault, which is quite interesting. Obviously, McLaren, who this season will have switched to Mercedes power units, severing the relationship between the French marquee. So we'll see if Kulasek can improve. He's currently 4/10 off at the moment, so we'll see if Vojta will be able to set an improvement as the checker flag has now fallen. And Luca Farina will be the first man across the line. Where does the Italian go? He does not improve. And he stays in 9th for the time being. Kai Szczęsny next across. Can the Polish driver get himself into Q3 for, I believe, the first time this season as he goes across the line? And he can! And it's 3rd for Kai Szczęsny. What a lap! And that is definitely what the Polish driver needs. And Laban Zasnishkai shocks the field as well. Lewis McIntyre, what a lap from the Brit! And he's got up into 3rd in the McLaren as well. That is an absolute shocker here at Sepang. Lewis McIntyre takes 3rd, and it might be both McLarens into Q3. Fernando Tost coming into the pit lane, so he's desperately going to have to hope that Kulasek here does not improve as Kulasek then heads down the back straight and down to the final quarter. Will it be an improvement for Vojta Kulasek? Will it be both McLarens into Q3, or will it be the Renault of Kulasek into Q3? He goes across the line and he cannot do it. It's gonna be no Renaults into Q3, and that is Q2 done and dusted. Jesper Johansson once again leads Dennis Paratsky, and your bottom 5 consists of Luca Farina, Franco Gamba, Samet Özkan, Vojta Kulasek, and Viktor Ahlbom. And I think finally we can breathe out then for Q2. It is only Q2. Which is pretty fun. But yeah, Farina then knocked out, which is, I have to say, a bit of a shocker. And I think even more of a shock would be Franco Gamba and Vojta Kulasek. But both McLarens are through. Nilsson is through into Q3, which is an absolutely fantastic showing from him.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I'm really surprised about Lucas Farina's performance as well, because Shanitsky and Spanish was knocked out in Q2 as well. So I thought maybe this might be the chance that Ferrari will try to get both of them into Q3, but no, it's actually a very surprising. I'm really surprised as well about how well Lewis McIntyre manages to climb back up into Q3 as well. He looked like he was struggling up until that very last moment, and then he just absolutely blitzed the midfield. And the Red Bull drivers as well, they also looked like they could be in trouble as well.
Yeah, this could be quite the shock now, but Q3 is where it is going to matter. Jesper Johansson and Dennis Paratsky have been leading qualifying Q1 and Q2. Let's see if they will be able to top Q3 or if Red Bull will be able to take it once again. Traditionally, this has been a Red Bull track, except for 2019, obviously. But Red Bull have been quite solid at this track in the past. So we'll have to see if they're going to be able to do it again.
Like how you said, Q1 and Q2 doesn't matter. Q3 is where it all matters. But no, I get what you mean, though. That's for Shanitsky now. That's good for Ferrari. I'm not sure in regards to the appearance, but Ferrari don't really seem to be a Q3 staple in this season so far. They've always seemed to be on the edge out of Q2, Q3. I'm not sure why the Italian outfit has such a struggle in qualifying pace to try and get both of their cars to Q3 as well, especially here in this track where qualifying gives them a pretty big benefit as well to scoring vital points as well, and they're kind of a bit of a struggle as well, currently 5th behind McLaren and Racing Point as well. That's a bit disappointing as well given their heritage in ACOC.
Yeah, it is absolutely wild to think what we could have at the moment, because you've got so many midfielders looking oh so strong at the moment. I mean, you've got McLaren and you've got Racing Point and you've got even Ferrari could be up there. It's weird to think of Ferrari as a midfield team considering their, as you said, their legacy in the ACOC. But we could have a lot of people up there and contending. You know, we had Vojta Kulasek, if you remember, at the British Grand Prix, or no, the first anniversary Grand Prix, who was up there fighting for the podium. Ultimately, obviously, would be Jesper Johansson, who would be able to get past. It would be Johansson and Mandic who got past Kulasek during the later stage of the race. But yeah, it goes to show that this season looks to be a lot more competitive when it comes to midfield performances, and I think it's probably the closest midfield we've had since 2017. I would say so.
That was a very close moment there between Szczesny and the McLaren driver as well. Not sure why it was so close on the inside. That was a bit of a scare. Might jeopardize his lap though. And aboard now Szczesny now for the first ever lap here for qualifying for the third qualifying session now, as he's going to go for turn 13 and then exit out there for turn 14 now onto the back straight now. Up to the straight here, we've got 2 consecutive DRS zones, both of them which will be vital for the race as well. Consider as well the hairpin right here. Whenever a driver goes ahead and makes an overtake, he's got an immediate getaway here as well, which will definitely gain or lose some positions here. Szczesny for the first ever driver, he's going to come up for a 135.832. That's a bit that's very interesting for the Ferrari. We'll see if anyone can top that easily. We'll show that the Mercedes, they have been having the duo have been absolutely it's in the entire field so far for the first 2 qualified sessions, but this is a trend that we've all seen very common. Carlos Sainz for the racing point has gone up into second. Tost, who was in 10th, is in third as well, which is a cool kind of a big deficit there. About 3/10 off as Klaus for the Red Bull driver as well. Very surprising as well, not showing pace as well for Klaus as well, but Graf has actually improved a bit up into second as well. But Szczesny has managed to keep first place. That's pretty really surprised about that, for given that the Ferrari's performance as well has been upper midfield at best, but Szczesny's kind of holding on there at the moment there. That's a pretty good first lap now, as we've seen Johansson and Prix as well. The 2 Mercedes driver shows it how it's done, and it's first and second respectively. Prix is currently on pole. The 2019 Malaysian Grand Prix winner, the Macedonian driver, currently sits on pole position at the moment with only 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Nielsen for the Scuderia AlphaTauri driver, the sole one of that, is currently in 7th. Currently, the Polish of Tost is last at the moment. We've only got 2.5 minutes left to go as well. Everyone's going to go for the second runs. McIntyre from the McLaren, he's showing it was no fluke, and he's up to fourth, and then Mandic as well. Mandic for the Croatian is now up into third as well. Those two have shown absolutely stunning performances, and they're third and fourth respectively. Mandic and McIntyre are going to be the drivers to watch. If they can replicate their race pace as they did here in the qualifying session, they're going to bring some vital points for the midfield battle between Racing Point and McLaren for sure. Absolutely amazing performance from those two drivers as well. And they displaced Red Bull at the moment as well. Very shocking as well for Red Bull, given there were currently on a consecutive podium streak as well for Dennis Graf and Alfred Klaas as well, who has managed as the only driver to place on all the podium places so far. But yeah, that's very shocking as well. Also, even more shocking that Szczesny has managed to push that Ferrari up into fifth, kind of replicating Luca Farina's qualifying magic hopes last race as well, whenever he went up to sixth as well in Spain it was. But yeah, Richke improves a bit more further for 1 minute 35 point flat, 6.8. And Nielsen does not improve as such, but currently sits in ninth as well, as we got 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. All here is to play for now, as they're all going to try to attempt for their final fast runs here in the Sepang International Circuit, I believe. I think some might be even going for 2 runs as well, for sure. Yeah. So far, Perichke and Johansson currently Mercedes 1-2. McIntyre improves a bit, but he does not actually displace Mandic currently for third. Mandic has gotten really good, but look at that. 6/10 are between Johansson and Mandic as well. Mercedes have really improved upon their last few races as well, and Red Bull have suffered greatly. It's probably due to the upgrades that they have had installed in time for Sepang as well. That's going to be a pretty big issue come the race as well, and it's going to be very troubling for Graf and Klaus to try and maintain their leads in the in the drivers and constructors respectively as well. This could be Mercedes' time to make a move actually and and capitalize on the Red Bull's shortcomings here as well, and also for Mandich and McIntyre. McIntyre is currently eighth in the driver standings at the moment as well. He'll looking to maybe catch up to Tost now as we enter into the final qualifying session now. The timer has run out now, so everyone's going to be on their final times now. We're first running both Nielsen for the Scuderia AlphaTauri driver. Can he improve? Can he improve the Italian's outfit place now? He crosses the line. He currently sits in ninth. Not much of an improvement there. There's McIntyre, the British driver. He's done amazing performances from qualifying 2, and he's replicating the same behind. Behind him, you can see Mandich as well. McIntyre is going to go ahead and go through the final corner now. He's going to make a very good exit here. He needs to do it in order to try and clinch third if he's ever got a good chance for it. McIntyre will eventually go ahead and cross the line. I don't think he improves. No, he doesn't. Mandich is going to go ahead and cross the line. Is he going to try and displace any of the Mercedes drivers? He doesn't improve either. He's currently in third and fourth. That's that settled. Kai Caesarea, he needs to try and equal his teammates' performance as well if he wants to try and close the gap in the driver standings and match it as well. And to come across his shortcomings as well in Spain. He's going to go ahead and cross the line. Is he going to improve? No improvements there. Fernando Tost, is he going to improve? He doesn't actually improve either. Alfred Klaus, the Red Bull driver. He's got he's currently 8th in the moment. Is he going to try and improve? Is it going to be any other improvement? It doesn't improve. And that sets the final qualifying session as well. Very surprising as well for the Red Bull drivers didn't improve in the final closing moments as well. But it's a Giro Mercedes 1-2 at the moment as well. So Enes Perichki is currently on pole, and then Johansson will complete a Mercedes Giro for the top 2. Absolutely great performance from all the drivers there respectively. Bit disappointing there for Red Bull as well. 6th and 8th. That is probably one of the lowest that they have been onto the grid so far that have made it into qualified 3 for the Red Bull outfit at the moment as well. Very good there for Mandich, McIntyre, and Jasnitsky respectively as well. All those drivers have 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and displaces Graf and his teammate as well on the grid as well. And we're looking for the race, which will start very soon. The Grand Prix will lay ahead of us very soon. A very interesting circuit as well. Qualifying here is somewhat important as well, and that will prove to be. This qualifying section here will prove to be very beneficial for those that start very well. Absolutely as well. 15 turns lay ahead of the drivers. Malaysia Grand Prix is set to begin underway here. It's one of the first Asia tracks here on the calendar as well here. It's our first international non-European leg as well here on the circuit as well. And
hello?
all places are here to play for.
Hello, sorry for the sorry for the silence from me. It was a bit of a matter I had to attend to. But yes, we are here for the Malaysian Grand Prix. So sorry for cutting in, Jamie, but let's go through the starting grids. I'll take the first 11, or I'll take the first 10, and you can take the rest. So, Enes Perichki takes his 2nd pole position of the season. Once again, a brilliant stuff from the Macedonian driver. Takes pole. here, just like he did last year. And then in second, it is Jesper Johansson with Thomas Mandic. A brilliant third, and accompanying him on the second row is Lewis McIntyre. I think that's probably the weirdest second row we've ever had. Then it is Laban Sasnishka lining up fifth with Dennis Groff, a lowly sixth. What has happened to Red Bull in qualifying as Kai Trezhnia lines up seventh with Alfred Klaus, a lowly eighth. And then it is the Red Bull sister car, Emil Nilsson, lining up in ninth with Fernando Tost in 10th.
Farina is the second of the Ferrari drivers, which is kind of uncharacteristic for him. Farina's in 11th. Following along him is Gamba as well for the highest place of the Renault drivers, out there in 12th. Ochkan could be very pleased with the Scuderia AlphaTauri's performance there in 13th for the Swede. 14th is Kulisek as well. It's currently 12th and 14th for both Renaults respectively. Albon can be very pleased with a Q2 appearance for Haas in 15th. Kosciuszko, the Emilia driver for the Alfa Romeo driver here, currently in 16th for Kosciuszko. Blackwood for the second Haas driver, currently down there in 17th. Very disappointing there for the Jamaican. At least he managed to make onto the grid. And Seti and Soto are currently 18th and 19th respectively for both Williams drivers. And Vale completes the grid as the sole Asian driver here on the Malaysian Grand Prix. Now, with that all in mind, we will head down to the track. Let's go out.
As we are here for the Malaysian Grand Prix, and we are underway here at Sepang. It's a good start for us. Parachi, same for Jesper Johansson, the two Mercedes getting off quite well. Then I think that is Sasnishka who's going to try it on Thomas Mandic heading into turn one as Johansson goes on to Parachi as well. The two Silver Arrows are going to battle here into the first corner as Parachi has the inside line. The two are going to go wheel to wheel. Mandic and Sasnishka battling amongst each other as well. And that's Özkan. And Alpha Tauri has been knocked out of the race in the first couple of corners. Parachi then into turn 4 is going to go round the outside of Jesper Johansson. Can he defend from his teammate? Yes, he can. And Parachi retains the lead then of the Malaysian Grand Prix.
Absolutely as well. That's very good battle in there for Parachi and Johansson as well. Very unfortunate there for Ochkan as well, which was very disappointing there for the AlphaTauri driver. At least I can be very pleased that Nilsson is currently in 6th and McIntyre and Chesnitschkai were all doing very well as well. So you can see Farina trying to make an overtake on the Kai Cesarea now. He's doing very well after starting 11th now, and he's up into 8th. Very impressive there from him.
Yeah, Farina's going to defend round the outside into the hairpin as they head up the hill into turn 10. Farina does get the job done on Kai Trezhnia as you have Alfred Klaus gone down to 10th. Really poor start from the Red Bull driver. And I don't know what's happening to Red Bull here at Sepang. It's really not going their way at the moment. Fernando
there goes Tost. Tost is going to try and make an overtake as well. He's going to try and make an overtake on them. He's going to go for turn 14 now. He's going to use the black streak. Might actually make an overtake here for turn 15 as well, as we see him. Tost is in very big trouble.
It is gonna be massive news for this, as the Red Bull team we saw in the first 4 races seem to have collapsed a bit here to start. Tost cannot do it on Klaus. There's Gamma and Kulisek fighting against each other. Dennis Groff has dropped a position to the Alpha Tauri of Emil Nilsson, and the two are going to go wheel to wheel. It's the rookie versus the world champion, the Red Bull senior car versus their sister car, and it is going to be Nilsson who, out of with all the odds stacked against him, does defend from him at the moment. But Dennis Groff says it's not over. He tries it there on the inside into turn 4, but Nilsson has actually defended.
Absolutely amazing there from Nilsson as well. We can see the two Renault drivers going on there. And now Albon to the 13th as well. That's a great overtake there from Albon as well. He's doing very well to push the Haas up there, and he's currently trying to hold it away from Kulisek.
Yeah, as they're having a fantastic battle here. Victor Albon's going to go to the inside line into turn number 9. Let's see if he can do it. It's going to be Kulisek later on the brakes. Albon does not get the best of exit into turn number 10 as they go wheel to wheel. Albon goes a bit wide, and it's going to be Kulisek who gets the 13th position.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. It's crazy to see Kulisek as well, kind of struggling after just batting out with his teammate here. And now we can see Albon and Blackmore might be even fighting out for 14th here. What is it with Sepang? All these teammates are fighting with each other. It's absolutely amazing racing here. Assetto goes just a slightly bit wide. That might allow for Kosciuszko to maybe try and make an overtake here for this back straight here. Gonna go for turn 16 as well. Is they gonna try and take for the inside line as well? The Alfa Romeo driver might actually try and hold it now. They're still gonna go side by side now as we're entering for lap 3 out of 32 now. Kosinska and Suto is trying to keep hold of it. Suto has actually managed to take it all. Is it going to break late? Whoever breaks late here will take the lead for the hairpin as well. And I think he does it. Suto manages to keep that Williams up into 16th as well. Very good performance there for him, I'll tell you.
And yeah, battles going on in the midfield. The battle for 8th between Teresnia and Farina. These two who battled for the championship in Formula 2. Both race winners in the same season. Battle once again in Formula 1 as we look a bit further down the field. The other Polish driver of Emilia Konishina down in 17th. So not looking very good for Alfa Romeo so far.
Yeah, absolutely as well. It's kind of disappointing to see them kind of fall back as well, not trying to make any gains. All the other teams, even Williams has actually made some improvements. They kind of just sat there alone just a little bit, which is kind of for a shame for sure. But here we're back on Johansson now. As you can see, the deficit as well. It's now come up to 4 tenths now, and it's now 5 tenths now between Parechki and Johansson respectively now, and they're going to be separated from. You can see within just a couple of laps that they're already just. A big difference here between the two Mercedes drivers and the rest of the field. Look at Mandic. I don't think Mandic will be able to maybe even challenge for the lead even, unless his only good chance is if the Mercedes keep on fighting.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, and who's going to come out for the race lead. Jesper Johansson at the fast lap of the race, and here he goes into turn number 1. He's going to go on the inside line of Enes Parachki. The two Mercedes cars are going to battle once again. Into turn 2, he's going to have the outside line, and let's see if he can hold on to this battle. He's going to have the inside through turn number 3. The two are just about wheel to wheel. Enes Parachki is going to be there on the outside line. He has the overlap heading into the brakes on turn 4. Parachki is the last of the brakes, and he is going to be ahead of Jesper Johansson for the time being.
Yeah, Kaiser's really tries to make a move on Alpha Class, doesn't do it. He hasn't broken too late enough in front of Class, maybe not enough confidence. But yeah, amazing defending there from Parechki, amazing attacking there from Johansson. But these two really do need to work together as a team if they really want to carry that deficit. Because if they're going to keep fighting, it's going on for Mandic and Nitschke and McIntyre to maybe challenge for their podium places or even the lead.
Yeah, this is gonna get quite interesting, and you have Tomas Mandic, as you said, in third, who is closing in now as the two Mercedes are battling with each other. This could get very, very interesting indeed as we head through turn number 14, and Johansson, he is closing, and with the DRS that's going to aid him even further. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get past his teammate. He has the DRS down the back straight into turn 14. You can see how close he is. He's having a look on the inside line even, but he is not close enough just yet. By heading down a start-finish straight, a very, very long start-finish straight, he should have a good chance of doing it. Enes Parachki, though, now sets the fastest lap of the race. Is Johansson going to try to turn 1? No, he does not. And he will stay behind for the time being. There's McIntyre and Zasniszczak battling for 4th position. The McLaren versus the Ferrari. As McIntyre is going to try it on the outside line through turn 2. They will go wheel to wheel. McIntyre holds the inside line and he gets past Lama Zasniszczak.
Yeah, shades of 2002 right there. Great attack there from McIntyre as well. All the top 3 drivers actually fighting as well. Shazicka is not going to give in as well. He will want that 4th place badly for sure as well for the Ferrari driver as well. But that's very good attacking there from both drivers. Nelson might actually join in for the fight as well. The Scuderia AlphaTauri driver, who hasn't had any problems, might actually catch up to them if they might continue fighting as well. Graf is kind of in the middle of nowhere. He's actually... I don't know what's happened to the Red Bull car. It's actually very surprising to see them perform so average, if that's even midfield like even.
Yeah, Ferrari are currently doing better than Red Bull, which is something I really was not expecting. I really don't know what's happened to Red Bull this race, but I don't know if it's a case of the fact that they're kicking back a bit more. But Mercedes are currently running 1-2. It's the dream running for Mercedes at the moment, as they're both running 1-2. However, it could be compromised as both of their drivers are battling it out. Jesper Johansson is chasing his first win of the season. And obviously from his costly DNF at Barcelona, he will be wanting to take the race win here and get the maximum amount of points. And here he
Yeah,
goes.
He's going to try and make a move there for turn 1 as well. Johansson just tries to take the inside line. He might hold the lead for just a bit, but it takes the inside line of turn 2. Exit out of turn 3 now. And Paritsky has actually managed to fend off Johansson just a little bit more. No longer side by side now. Paritsky still holds the lead. The problem is with having a dream start is that you've got two drivers who are capable of a win, pushing each other to the limits for the lead. And that's what Mercedes is currently facing a situation with right now with Paritsky and Johansson.
Yes, indeed. You have Parachki, though, who's just holding on to Johansson. Two brilliant drivers going at it for the race lead here. We're just gonna have to hope that things do not get nasty between the two. But Parachki is leading Johansson by only, I'd say, a hair at the moment.
Yeah, very long hair, 5/10s, but they'll eventually close each other up in the DRS zones respectively, given the nature of this track, especially with the back-to-back straights as well, only separated by a hairpin. Those that are behind and only within a second will eventually get caught up as well within the two DRS straights, and then they're going to be in a fighting position all over again. That's the nature of this track, and that's why people love the Sepang International Circuit here. Johansson has now managed to catch back into Paritsky down for the Macedonian driver as well. Is going to use the second consecutive DRS straight here as we enter into lap 6 now, and that's going to allow for another fight as well. They're going to go side by side through turn 1. Who's going to come out on top?
And into turn 1 we will go. Parachi's going to have the outside line once again. It should be an easy defending work for the Macedonian drivers. Johansson's there on the outside line. He won't be able to keep it, but smart stuff from Ennis. Every time I notice they go into turn 1, Parachi always blocks the outside line because he knows that's where that's where it's gonna put him heading out into turn number 4. So really good positioning from Ennis Parachki, and Johansson is just trying it lap after lap, trying to squeeze past his teammate, but it just isn't working for him.
We also mentioned Mandic as well. He's currently holding in 3rd place, and he might actually get a consecutive podium place as well for the Croatian. That will be an amazing performance there if he manages to hold into 3rd place as well. Absolutely incredible there from the Racing Point driver as well. But we've just seen earlier that Klaus, I think, was trying to make a move on Lucas Farina and didn't actually quite come to fruition as well, which, as we've mentioned before, Ferrari are actually doing much better than Red Bull are at the moment. I think they might actually have a better car in this circuit than Red Bull do, and that's a pretty big blow.
Yeah, and look, Groff has not got the best of exits here. They really are struggling, and Farina is now on the back of Dennis Groff, and here he goes into the final corner. Luca Farina is there on the inside line of Dennis Groff, and this is gonna give him, I think, the outside line. No, Groff is able to hold him off there, as Ennis Paratsky now sets the fastest lap of the race, so he looks to have just an inch of an advantage over his teammate Jesper Johansson. But there is Alfred Klaus now trying it on Luca Farina into turn 2. He's going to have the outside line. Will Klaus be able to do it the long way around? The man is renowned for his overtaking prowess. Let's see if he can do it there on the inside, and he gets past Luca Farina. No, the Italian's still going to put up a challenge into turn number 4. He's going to be there on the inside line. No match for the Red Bull, and Alfred Klaus gets up into A.
Kai Cesarino might actually try and make a move for Luca Farina as well. Farina has kind of had a shocker of a half a lap as well. After a bad exit of turn 15 now, it's kind of gone a bit downwards there for Luca Farina, who was actually challenging Krauf, and a amount of corners got overtaken by Klaus as well. That's the magic of double teamwork there for Red Bull.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, but I have to say it is quite some irony to see two Red Bulls stuck behind an Alpha Tauri. Emil Nilsson currently leading Dennis Groff and then Alfred Klaus, who are in 7th and 8th, with Nilsson running a brilliant 6th at the moment. The Estonian doing a fantastic, he's having a fantastic drive at the moment, and he's doing really well. I have to give it to him. As they're going to head to turn number 14, will Dennis Groff be able to inch any closer to the Estonian? That's going to be the question.
I almost thought for a minute Nilsson was out of the DRS range, which would have been kind of suicidal for him if he wasn't actually going to be that close as well to Shinichiki and McIntyre, who are going to be fighting as well. I don't think he has it this time. No, he doesn't. I think he'll be a sitting duck for Dennis Graf now, as he's going to go for the inside of turn 1 now. The Estonian will have to fight. Oh, we got in the front now. We've got Shinichiki and McIntyre now fighting it out. 2008 vibes right here. They're going to go side by side for turn 3 as well. I think Shinichiki might actually hold it. He's got the inside line through that corner now.
Crash.
Oh, no. I think that's Tost. Tost has retired.
And that's going to be Fernando tossed out. We witnessed one McLaren battling away for P4 and the other has been sent all the way down to last place. What has happened to Fernando Tost?
Yeah, that's our second consecutive retirement from that corner as well.
No, he's not out. He's not out. And Gamba's tagged him.
He got turned by Gamba.
Yeah, that's naughty by Franco. But Tost has been able to carry on. He's had to stop to let all the other guys pass, and that sent him all the way down to P19. And I think there might be a penalty that could be awarded for Franco Gamba. We'll see what the FIA have to say, obviously, after the race. But a pretty major accident, and a lot of cars involved in that. So it split the field quite massively from 10th position all the way down from 11th and 12th. You can see Kyle will be feeling quite safe now.
Yeah, it penalizes the whole field that were involved in that accident now, because now I don't think they'll be able to challenge for the point scoring position now anymore, because the deficit is just way too far away. And in a circuit like Japan, you really need to get close to each other to try and battle up for these positions. Otherwise, you're just going to be left alone. And unfortunately, given that the field has now been already so spread, if you look at the mini map here, it's just such a big gap as well. I don't see how any of them are actually going to try and climb back to the point scoring position, I'm afraid.
Yes, we'll see what is going to happen. I agree with you, it is a major blow to a lot of these guys. You have Victor Albom fighting Franco Gamba for 12th. The man who's outside of the DRS. There is Cherezhnia battling with
actually.
Yeah.
Side by side.
You had the two Red Bulls battling there as well. But none of them moved. They weren't able to move past each other. And Parashki seems to have increased his advantage on Jesper Johansson. It's up to 7/10, and Johansson isn't able to try it as frequently as he used to.
I honestly don't think Parishki is actually getting away from Johansson. I think it's kind of in a stalemate. It is somewhat increasing, but I don't think it's increasing enough to say that Parishki is pulling away from Johansson. I think it's kind of just in a stalemate at the moment until Johansson tries and puts his pace back up and fights Parishki eventually. But yeah, Parishki, when leading, as we've seen in previous races, whenever someone leads, they go ahead and they absolutely annihilate the entire field. They've got unreal pace and unreal lap times. But Parishki is not actually kind of that leader. He's actually kind of slow, I suppose, in comparison to other leaders that we've had in the past this season.
Yes, we will see what will happen, obviously. Enis Parashki, as you did mention, is a driver that does like to lead away when he is in the lead. Same would go for Jesper Johansson, I have to say. If that man gets into the lead, there's really no stopping him. As there's Dennis
wide line.
Yeah, Dennis Groff ran wide there. And Alfred Klaus, I think, was trying to sense the opportunity. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get past Victor Albom, though. Sent one on the inside line of Franco Gamba. The two are going to go wheel to wheel, as Albom is going to be on the outside line then. Through turn 2 and into turn 3, they will go.
Oh my god, that is actually going to happen. Albom and Gamba are actually going to be side by side. What a momentous occasion. This will be for the Haas to overtake Renault, and he's going to try and take for the inside line. I think the outside line has got better. Gamba currently holds on to 12th, but that's a very good attempt there from Victor Albom.
Yeah, nice. As you said, good attempt from the Dane and Haas, so the team have been struggling a lot, being able to challenge the Renaults at least, even though it is in a bit of a time like this, as Graf tried it on Nilsson there, but he got compromised on exit, and that has brought Alfred Klaus quite a lot closer.
he did it again on Nelson, and now it's already been punished as well, because now Klaus is going to be all over the back of him, and now in the straight coming up ahead as they're going to go through there, and now the two Mercedes are going to be fighting each other once again.
Jesper Johansson into the final corner. He's gonna go on his teammate Dennis Perachki. I maybe was wrong about the fact that Johansson was losing time. He's obviously tried on his teammate, but now he's got no DRS.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good that Perachki managed to hold on to the lead for that hairpin. Otherwise, he would have been horribly behind him by now at that first corner now. But that's very good there for Perachki for good defending there. Very unfortunate there for Johansson for a good attempt as well, as we've seen Sajanichka going a bit wide as well. And so Kai Sasri as well. This car is going pretty wide as well. Yeah, but yeah, all the top 10 are actually very fierce within each other and really, really feisty as such, especially in Sepang as well. It's always a bit switchbacks and overtakes and but no mistakes, luckily, apart from the Gamba collision with Tost, unfortunately, which has somewhat blown the top 12's chances of scoring any points.
Yeah,
11.
It's a shame for those guys, obviously, but the only thing I have to say is that it is racing, as we're going to witness a bit of racing, as Lavon Zasnishkai is still chasing down Lewis McIntyre for 4th place. And there's the two Mercedes. Jesper Johansson is in the hunt to chase down Enes Perachki. You can see how close he gets under braking, but as I say he does run a bit wide, and yeah, that's going to ruin his chances. It's going to ruin his momentum heading into turn 14, so he's just going to have to hope that the DRS is able to carry him into a battle into the first corner.
It definitely will. He really needs all the DRS he can get. As we see now, Ryan and board of Kai Sasri now, I think he's going to go on the back of Luca Farina as well. Farina hasn't been doing that much, but he has gained 2 places now. As Kai Sasri tries to have a look on Luca Farina, he's going to use the second DRS to maybe capitalize as well. But yeah, as we're going back to Johansson, he is struggling quite a bit. I'm not sure if we have seen the side of him this season, but it's very uncharacteristic from him, especially from Spain, as we now see Kai Sasri tries to make a move on Luca Farina and takes a wide exit, which isn't the cleanest of lines, and that will allow Luca Farina to maintain 9th place for Ferrari.
Yeah, nicely done there from Luca Farina. There's Alfred Klaus having a look on his teammate Dennis Graf. Kai Shrezhnia tries to get past Luca Farina, but it is futile as they enter turn 4. The outside line proving to be the more superior line through that corner. We'll look a bit further up the field. Alfred Klaus is not very successful in his attempt to catch up to Dennis Graf. I have to say, I really still do not know what's happening to Red Bull here at Sepang. I just think maybe they haven't really built the car to suit this track, as opposed to a few other teams, as Zasnishka is chasing down McIntyre.
The thing is, you can't really blame the drivers because Klaus has Klaus is one of the race winners here in Sepang, so he knows this circuit well. As we've seen now, Johansson tries to make a move on Perachki once again.
And he is gonna go for it into the final corner, but it does not work for Jesper Johansson, and thus Enes Perachki will still hold on, but Johansson does have the DRS. Is he gonna be able to try to get to turn 1? He's got a massive amount of overspeed, but no, he is unable to do anything. But there's Lavon Zasnishkai. And he's gonna be there on the inside line. Will he be able to punch his way through Lewis McIntyre? McIntyre still there, heading through turn 2. Zasnishkai should be just about ahead as they head through turn 3. Has he made the move stick? I think he might just have made the move stick. And into turn 4, we know the inside line is the less favorable line. And there he goes. Lavon Zasnishkai up into 4th. What a move!
As we've seen back down there, Sutter and Valle have traded places as well for the battle of the back markers as well. Very interesting there for sure. Valle and Sassetti, I think it is. No, Sutter tries to make a move again, but Sutter capitalizes as well. 16th place for Williams, very good for them. Very unfortunate for Alfa Romeo, currently not doing very well, especially for Valle as well, given it's his home continent race as well. I think this is our only... No, it's our second. It's our second stop on the calendar in terms of Asian continents as well. So this is as close as Valle is going to get for a home race, to be honest. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunately he's not doing very well.
Yeah, as Johansson is looking to be in the slipstream of Parachki, does not try anything into the final corner to
I think
make
he's
sure it
learned his
doesn't make.
lesson.
Yeah. As you said, I think he has learned his lesson now, but that he's gonna have a very, very good helping
Well,
hand
there
of
we go.
DRS. And
Look at
into
that.
Yeah, into turn one, he is gonna go. Parachi's later on the brakes, though, as they head through turn number one. And then into turn two, it's gonna switch around as Johansson's on the outside line. Parachi is gonna defend with all his might. And Johansson will try and punch past the two Silver Arrows going wheel to wheel here at Sepang. It's a great battle between the two as Johansson's gonna be on the inside line. Parachi defends the long way round. And he does defend once again. Another great defensive work
McIntyre
from Ennis
Chanishka going to
Parachi.
go at it again.
Yeah, Laban should defend the outside line, and he does so. So that's going to be Laban staying in fourth and Parashki staying in first. So, very, very interesting then to see how these battles are forming out. But Parashki, I have to give it to Ennis. He is relentlessly defending from no other man than Jesper Johansson. And we know the capability of Jesper Johansson. He's not a two-time world champion without reason.
This Mercedes car that they've got for Sepang looks absolutely invincible. Johansson and Parichki have been constantly fighting, like every lap or so, and they're still 3 seconds ahead of Mandic, who has not been fighting anyone. Which is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, as it's gonna be quite close once again, heading into turn 14, and Johansson, he gets so close. He is there. He wants to get past, but Ennis, he is just like a brick wall at the moment. As Johansson once again will try to turn one, and he is going to be on the inside line, and
he's actually got ahead a bit.
Yeah, he gets ahead of it.
Good run actually.
And through.
It's just the wide exit of turn 3 that just ruins it a bit. But Johansson's actually got it. He might actually maintain the lead, but the outside line will probably allow for Parichi to go through. Those two have actually produced great racing as well as Nilsson might be in trouble from Graf.
Yeah, now Nilsson's going to have to defend round the outside from Dennis Graf. It doesn't work for Dennis Graf. He's still going to be behind Emil Nilsson. I can't believe it. Alfred Klaus is there on the inside line. Oh, and a massive snap of oversteer for Alfred Klaus. That was very scary for the Swede. Yeah, luckily he's been able to hold it.
Great save there from Klaus, and my word, that was a hair-raising stuff there for Red Bull. There, that's not what they need, especially in the time of, struggle that they currently have with the car performance as well. Does unfortunately penalise Farina and Caesarea just a bit though to challenge for the top 5 places for sure, because they've kind of bit of a deficit now, and allow for Klaus to try and catch right back now. We're right back again to Johansson Parichki. They've been fighting for nearly an entire half a race now, and it's going to be the other half as well that's going to continue now as they're going to go through turn 15 now and going to start lap 17 out of 32.
Yeah, it is a monumental battle between these two guys. Ennis Pavarsky, who's battled many legendary drivers in his short stint at Mercedes at the moment, is going to come under pressure from Jesper Johansson once again. The two will go wheel to wheel. Ennis remains ahead through turn number 2, and I think he should be easily defending this.
Ooh. Oh, wow. I think he might actually do it. I think Graf might actually overtake Nilsson now. The person that's been struggling behind the Estonia for so long. I think he might actually make it work. He's got such a great run out of that turn 3 now. But Nilsson might actually try and make it for the inside line. Not the best momentum as well. But Graf goes ahead and takes it. Graf goes ahead and takes 6 from Nilsson. Finally, he's managed to overtake the scrutiny from AlphaTauri driver. And Klaus has made a mistake once again.
And yeah, I don't know what's going on with Klaus at the moment, but that corner seems to be catching him out. Farina is now all over the back of Alfred Klaus, but I don't think he will be trying anything. Might he be doing that? Let's see. I don't think he's close enough, though, and he isn't. Into the hairpin.
Do you think it could be tire wear? Do you think it could be tire wear that might be affecting Klaus considering it's a high-speed corner or medium-speed corner?
It could be. It could very well be. But it is only Klaus that is affected, so Alfred must have been pushing quite a lot. But that also, with a counter argument, these two guys have been basically Johansson has been giving it his all this entire race, and into the final corner he will try it, but that's gonna compromise him exit. We all know that, and yeah, there we go. It's gonna be Parachi who does made ahead, but Johansson, you think about him, he's been pushing this entire time, and you know he has not had any moments of he doesn't seem to be stopping. At least for the time being, as they head through turn number 2, they're still side by side. Johansson, I've never seen him this fierce and just trying it over and over
I think
again.
Johansson's got the outside line. I think he was trying to actually do the line, as we said, which was fastest. He's going to try and do the outside line, and maybe you think that might work, but on the timing board it doesn't actually work, so Perichki still manages to hold on to the lead. Absolutely amazing performance there. Alba might be trying to look for a move for P12's too. He's still not giving up his quest there for good. That's a very good performance there from the Danish driver as well.
Yes.
Still challenging Renault, who have been a constant midfield runner, and that's pretty surprising if you ask me, considering Gabas and Kulisic's silences respectively.
Yeah, I think now you can breathe out. Yeah, we both are really running out of breath here, but the action, it's quite a lot. I haven't even realized that we're over the halfway point now. It feels like it's only been a few laps, which is really strange. Into turn number 14.
Yes, it's everyone's favorite. Back straight. This will surely... the Malaysian crowd here must be having an awesome time, because Petronas in Malaysia is probably his biggest sponsor now. Johansson tries to go down for the inside move once again of the Macedonian driver. The Macedonian driver once again prevails now. He's got the second DRS zone, and he's going to come up a bit earlier this time. He might actually get a better run here for turn 1. Is it going to actually work this time? Oh dear. Please. Oh, they're side by side for turn 1 and turn 2 as well. The wide exit as well still allows Perichki to just take ahead. They're still going to be side by sides. Look for the inside line. He's actually got a bit of a gains as well. He's going to take the lead as we head into turn 4 a bit, and Perichki still holds on to the lead from his teammate once again. I don't think Johansson has ever managed to fight someone this fiercely throughout the entire race, unlike Perichki. And he can do it with ease and comfort, because Mandit is 5 seconds between him and the two Mercedes drivers. Alright. Moving back down here, Graf is trying to make his recovery positions here after abysmal qualifying performance there in Red Bull standards so far this season. I don't think he will be able to capitalize on his podium streak, unfortunately, currently, given how much Perichki, Johansson and Mandit have been so away, which means that Perichki's podium streak in Mercedes last season will remain intact. They're going to go out for turn 14 once again for the blinding corner as well. None of them have actually made any mistakes. They seem to preserve the tires. They managed to keep going the extra distance, the extra mile now. As soon as we get across the start-finish straight, we'll be lap 20 out of 32, which means we have 12 laps to go now. First, the first hairpin now, and now they're going to enter into lap 20 now. Up and they go now. He's going to use the second DRS straight now. He's going to go on the back of the Macedonian driver. Is the Swede going to capitalize this time? He's going to move late now. He needs to move late. He needs to try and get a bit of bigger momentum here if he wants to try and overtake Perichki as well. The outside liners are going to be very good. Perichki still manages to hold on to the lead and still tries to take the inside line as McIntyre tries to look and move on Shinichki for the Ferrari driver now. They're going to go for turn 1, down to turn 2. I think Shinichki will just about hold on to the lead now, and Graf has managed to catch up into McIntyre as well. Cesare tries to make a move and look at Farina. Doesn't actually work. Kaiwell will remain in 10th place now. And Albon tries to make a move on Gamba as well. Look at it, turn 1. It's going to get the wide exit now. And there was an overtake there between Vale and Soto as well. Vale moves up into 16th. That's the kind of showing that we need for Alfa Romeo driver as well. Pretty good for him for his home continent as well. Albon tries to make a move down the inside line. Gamba will still try and hold on into 12th place now. But Albon is causing troubles for Gamba, for the Renault driver. It's absolutely amazing. Sutu is still ahead of Seti, but still challenging Vale as well. Toss has not actually managed to make any ground so far since his earlier collisions with the Renault drivers so far earlier in the race. We're moving back up to the... You're back?
To be fair, yeah, hello. I'm sorry, I had to go again for a while.
Fine.
But Tost has actually, he's now on the back of Chisetti, and yeah, I think there's been a lot of midfield battles. Johansson is once again going to try it into turn number 14. We know how this story will end. And it is going to be Jesper who will get the short end of the stick, as he is now going to have the DRS once again.
Oh, no, he's actually doing. I think he might actually make a move.
He might do it again, and he's passed! He's passed! Jesper Johansson has taken the lead! That was unexpected, but he's done it! And he's gonna battle with Enes Baracki through turn 2, and I think, finally, he's pushed past, he's punched through his teammate, and Jesper Johansson leads the Malaysian Grand Prix!
Paritsky's going to take the inside line, but Johansson will have the outside line, which means he'll be the fastest. Oh no! Paritsky almost nearly had it as well. He actually managed to make that almost work, but Johansson so far remains the leader.
Finally, he's done it. Jesper Johansson just constantly pushed through, waited for the tiniest error from Enes. He tried to find the smallest opportunity and tried to sniff past the move, and he just did it. Nicely done from Jesper Johansson. And yeah, very, very, very well done from him. Contact.
It's awful there.
Yeah, Gamba is involved in that, and he's gone off the track in an attempt to re-enter. Album's off as well, and they both have made contact. And
oh no! Oh, yeah. Phew. Album is safe now, but that's unfortunate there for Gamba. I think he's not going to actually recover from that, which will means he'll be our second retiree of this race. Very unfortunate there for Album and Gamba. Both of them were doing really well to produce a great fight, but unfortunately Album's front wing, he pushed a bit too much far in the front, and unfortunately as a racing incident came to blows.
That's a massive shame for both Album and Gamba. Gamba once again will be coming home pointless, which is a shame to see. Obviously, as wheel banging.
Oh no, he's always off track. Yeah. He's off track and manages to save it and passed his Tost as well.
Yeah.
Setty as well. Amazing there. Wow, what a great power control there from Tost.
Yeah, Tost really, I have no idea how they did not end up in tears when he Tost and Cesetti, but it is going to be Fernando Tost getting ahead. They banged wheels there, and even then, yeah, they still kept it on track. Tost was completely off track at the moment. He was not in control of his car. I have no idea they did that. But Cesetti has actually been able to re-overtake Fernando Tost into turn 14.
Yeah, after that momentum, I will not be surprised if he didn't. Hey, Vettel, are you watching? You can't control your car in the grass. Anyways, Cesetti manages to pass Tost anyways, and still tries to maintain 16th place, making his climb into the midfield ever so more difficult for the McLaren driver as well, who's trying to recover from his poor advantages as well. He's going to try and take the inside line. We're actually going to see the inside line work. Survey says no. Cesetti currently remains 16th at the moment.
Yeah, Cesetti is unable to get past. Yeah, Dennis Graf was trying it on Lewis McIntyre, but it was not able to get past. I think he's trying. I think McIntyre might be starting to feel the pressure from the world champion now. Dennis Graf is going to try to make the most of Red Bull's shortcomings here at Sepang, obviously with Jesper Johansson now in the lead as well.
You can see Paritsky is actually trying to catch up to Johansson as well. It's the two DRS zones which are so close to each other that allows the drivers to be bunched up into fields, like being constant battles as well. It's that track that gives us Sepang a very good fan following as well, and it is why it's such praise for drivers and why it produces such great racing here in the ACOC.
Yeah, it is. It is looking very, very spicy at the moment. There's Klaus. He's having a look on Emil Nilsson, but Klaus will be staying behind for the time being. He's not getting as lucky as his teammate. There's Giulia Cesetti, who's come from absolutely nowhere. She's trying it on her teammate, Josef Fredrik Schuton, into turn 1. The two Williamses will go, and Cesetti gets past. Cesetti's up into P15. Or maybe not, as Schuto's still trying to fight back, but there's only so much Slovakian can do. Giulia Cesetti, where's this come from?
I swear, Sepang, man, Sepang. It's just, it causes teammates to fight. It's clearly the Malaysian climate.
Oh,
I'm going to make a move on McIntyre as well. This will be a move, and it doesn't come to fruition as well. McIntyre, the British driver, currently holds on to 5th for McLaren.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but I agree with you. Sepang is something special here. So we'll see what will happen. But Dennis Graf He's looking quite
Oh,
on it.
Nielsen! I think Nielsen might actually
Yeah.
try and make a move on Graf.
Yeah,
That's a very bad exit there.
Just as I said, Dennis Goff was looking on it. He gets a very poor run, and Nilsson is going to take massive advantage of this. He's going to go around the outside into turn number 14. Can the Alpha Tower driver make the move stick? I think
Another bad exit there from Klaus as well. That will allow Nielsen to go up into 6th.
I think he's going to do it.
He's going to make a move on McIntyre as well.
Is it going to be a double overtake for Emil Nilsson? He's going to go on to Lewis McIntyre. Is this going to work for the Alpha Tauri? I don't think it will. He might have done it.
I think he might. He's actually going to go wide. I think he might hold on to it.
Oh, he's done it. Double overtake.
He doesn't. He got it. Oh, he got a retirement of that one.
What is going on here in Malaysia?
The side-by-side Kai Cesar trying to make a move on Klaus. It's not going to work well. Looking for Reno, tries to make a move. They're still side-by-side. I don't know what happened to Elbow. I think it might be in time as well. Looking for Reno, just managed to hold past Kai, and he currently holds 9th at the minute. Oh my word, Nelson, you absolute amazing driver. That was incredible. And we need to see a replay of what happened to Albon. Oh my.
Yeah, what is that? I think this is just a crash on his own. I think he's... What has happened here? So this is into turn... And the car just goes. He's locked up of some sort. It's very reminiscent of Jesper Johansson's accident. But if we please could get a replay on Emil Nilsson. That was absolute... I think that's going to be a nominee for overtake of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, in a series of corners, like, Graf's uncharacteristic mistake there allows for Nelson to just try and take the inside corner there. But given the AlphaTauri's performance, of course Graf would actually try and be side by side here. But he's got the better exit now, and then within a straight and a DRS sector as well, with the momentum he's managed to gain. Then he uses the slipstream on McIntyre as well, and he just goes ahead and passes him as well. They were nearly 3 wide through turn 3.
Absolutely insane, I have to say. Really well done from Emil Nilsson. That's from P7 to P5.
And this is a godsend for AlphaTauri as well. This performance here might push them back up into the midfield as Graf tries to make a move in McIntyre. Yeah, currently Alfa Romeo currently sits 7th in the standings as well. But with this point coming in from Nielsen as well, after Oshkan just managed to score points, his first points for AlphaTauri, he's going to come back and score even more vital points as well for the team. Absolutely amazing performance there from the Estonian. A great qualifying 3 performance translates into a great race performance here as we see the 2 Red Bull drivers going wheel to wheel once again now. They're going to be fine as well. I have no idea what has happened to Graf now. He's been struggling through these last lap and a half now. Is they going to go for the inside now? And they're still going to be fine here as we're going to enter into lap 26 out of 32. Cesare now tries to make a move on Luca Farina now. He moves it down late and he's trying to go side by side with the Ferrari driver as well. He's trying to hold the inside line as well. Gets a wide exit there. The 2 Red Bull drivers will probably allow Luca Farina to try and fight as well. Kai Cesare picks up a bit of dust as well. He's going to try and go side by side for there. He's going to go ahead just ahead of Farina, but Farina will have the outside line through that turn 4 now as he's going to try and make a bait stick. Oh, he doesn't quite make it there, but actually Kai Cesare just keeps holding to P10 though. Luca Farina's in P9 currently now at the moment. That's a very good find there from those 2. Tost is currently meanwhile on his recovery streak now, still not managed to pass any of the 2 Williams drivers as well, who have currently been in a fierce battle now with each other now. Graf and Klaus now are still in the midst of a battle of their own. McIntyre is somewhat in a lackluster. They're going to go for the inside line and he actually turns in a bit. It's not a very good line for Graf now. Might allow for Klaus to actually capitalise and move back into there. 5 of 32 we're still at the moment here as we enter the 3rd sector, I think it is now. I believe it is the 3rd sector now. He's still over the back of McIntyre's now. Graf is still trying to look a move and try and overtake McIntyre. He's really in that move for P6, isn't he? I think Nilsson might actually try and make a move at Shanitska. If he tries to keep making a move, I think it'll eventually will come happen. Here comes Graf. Graf is now challenging McIntyre now. He needs to try and get a good exit. If he doesn't come into works, it might actually come into blows, and Klaus might actually make the move. Welcome back, Myron.
Sorry. I'm sorry for cutting in there. Mandich was 11 seconds behind the 2 Mercs, so I thought something might have happened to him. But I'm sorry for cutting into this battle. But we're going to have Dennis Graf, who's going to be on the inside line there of Lewis McIntyre. The two are going to go wheel to wheel.
Oh, he does it, actually makes it work. I think he might actually make it work because he has such a run in here for turn 1. And yeah, I think that'll make it work. Yeah, Graf is into P6 now. Oh, that's amazing, their performance there from the Red Bull driver as well. Well, how would you be excited to see them fight out in a battle for 6th position now? For Rena and Cesare just once again try and fight out for positions. Once again, it's Kosnichi and Blackwood now. The Hassan of Alfa Romeo drivers now going side by side now. This isn't a battle for best of the rest currently at the moment, aside from Kulisec, who's currently ahead of the field by quite some margin. Didn't have a lot of mistakes here as Blackwood goes ahead and capitalizes and takes 12th and revitalizes of what he couldn't do. McIntyre seems to be struggling a bit because Klaus is now actually trying to make an overtake on him now. Oh, you got okay.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit on and off at the moment because there is something, but yeah.
Oh, he just makes a wide move again.
Yeah.
I thought I laugh for Verena as well to make an overtake on Klaus as well. I can't
gotta try
tell myself how mad this race is as well.
It really is.
Try to take the inside line here and the final corner of turn 15. Johansson and Paritsky, we haven't heard from them in a while. That's because Johansson's actually managed to increase of somewhat of a gap between him and Paritsky. Even with DRS, Paritsky cannot make a move on Johansson as Nelson makes a move on Sandwich Guy. Is he going to do it now for turn 2? Is going to go for the inside of turn 2 now. He's given everyone trouble now, and now it's going to be a Ferrari driver next as well. What has happened to this Scuderia AlphaTauri driver as well? Amazing performance there from Nelson. Now is going to try and dig down the inside line of turn 4, and it doesn't come quite into fruition as well. But Nelson is still over the back of him, giving him a hard time.
Cesetti's gonna climb up another position here as well. I don't know where this Julia Cesetti has been, but she's gonna try it round the outside of Daniel Walla. The two are gonna go wheel to wheel. The Formula 1 rookie versus the Formula 1 returnee. As the two are gonna go wheel to wheel to turn 4. Walla should have the outside line, and that should be the superior line for the Alfa Romeo driver. And Walla does get past. There's Alfred Klaus onto Lewis McIntyre, but yeah.
Yeah, Nelson is still trying to make a move on Sijnichkai. Sijnichkai also doesn't have DRS as well, and given that he's trying to make a move so late into this race as well, we've only got about 5 laps or so to go now. If Nelson makes an overtake on Sijnichkai, I think that'll probably allow for Nelson's P4 confirmed. Wow, P4 in an AlphaTauri. Who would have thought? I certainly would have come into this race now. He's going to try and make a move now for the hairpin of turn 5 now. It's not going to make it good for the line now, but he's still all over the back of him now. Is he going to do the same characteristics he did in the race before? He's going to do it. He's going to make another move.
He is gonna try it into turn number 1. Will Nilsson succeed with it, and will he go up into 4th? This will be a drive absolutely legendary for the AlphaTauri team, as the two are gonna go side by side. I don't know if Nilsson will succeed with this. I don't think he will. Zasnishka looks to have the better advantage, as the two are gonna go into turn 4, and I think we know how this story ends, as Zasnishka is gonna go around the outside. Nilsson will try it on the inside, but there's only so much he can do, and Laman Zasnishka will defend from Emil Nilsson. But the fact still that Nilsson in the AlphaTauri leads both Red Bulls and is fighting for 4th, something that the Red Bulls are unable to do this weekend. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think this goes to show just that this man is really deserving of a better car, possibly.
I think there was one driver we haven't been taking note of currently, and that is Thomas Mandich. He's currently in 3rd. He's on for his 2nd consecutive podium this season, and he's in 3rd. He has left the field from P4, but hasn't been fast enough to quite catch up to 1st and 2nd though. But it's a very good performance from the Croatian regardless as well, who goes ahead and claims another points haul for the Racing Point, and that is an amazing performance there from the Croatian.
And Nilsson is still on the defense here, or the offense, what am I saying? The offense, as he's going to chase him through the final corner. He's going to have a great shot into turn 1, Jamie.
Absolutely, as well. We're going to head into lap 29 of 32. Now he's only got 3 laps to go. Now is the chance for Nether to try and make a move. Now is he going to try and take the inside line now for this corner here? He's got a pretty good run here for turn 1. I'm not sure if it will be sufficient enough for turn 2 now. Turn 2 happens, takes a wide exit as normal, and now here we go. Nilsson and Shinishka. Shinishka will still have a fight with Nilsson as well. Going to go nearly side by side as well. Takes the inside line. Shinishki will have the outside line. Shazhnitsky goes through and still maintains 4th. McIntyre and Klaus are still in a fight for P7 now. McIntyre's been struggling quite a lot recently. Sassetti and Valle currently in a move. Sassetti has given it her all to try and make a move past Valle as well for P14. What a move will that be for the Williams driver as well? Because I don't think they have actually managed to bend up as high as they have been for P14, especially for Sepang as well, given the sector here. Another inside line here for Klaus as well. Does it come to Bruce? Look at Farina's trying to make a move for turn 8. Is he actually going to make it work?
I think
he might.
No, it might. He's still hanging on to the move.
I don't think he does have it. Oh, God, Klaus he makes a mistake. I think he makes a mistake. He doesn't make a very good exit.
He's going to swing around the outside through turn 14. He's
going to use the DRS. He's going to use the DRS. He's going to get the outside line, which is going to be the fastest line as well. No, he goes down to the inside line. I don't know what he's doing. He's going to go down to the inside line, which means that I think Klaus might actually have it, unless if he makes a very good exit for here. No, he doesn't. Klaus just goes ahead and takes it up, and then now it's still at 8th and 9th respectively. We've only got 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. And now we're back into Nelson trying to make a move to this game once again.
He's going to try it into turn number 1.
He's got a very good run. He's got a very good run. It's going to make it work. I think it might actually make it work. No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually really. And Shinichki just keeps holding on to 4th. No, it doesn't actually go to go side by side. They're going to go side by side from there. They're going
to Jamie, you need to ease your voice a bit.
There we go. And there we go. And Shinichki just keeps on holding on to 4th. He keeps on holding it to 4th.
Oh, let me take this battle. Let me take this battle.
I swear to God, I thought Nielsen had it. I really thought he had it as well. But it's coming close. It's coming to the closing stages very soon, and they need to make their move sooner or later.
Jamie, it's all right, man. It's all right. Oh my goodness, I thought you're really stressing out your voice here. You're doing it even more than me, and I've been commentating for this. I've been commentating since this series introduced. My goodness. I thought you absolutely hit a new note there, but yeah, absolute fantastic battles were going. Absolutely fantastic battles going around all through the field, but yeah, through turn 14.
Away just a little bit as well. The DRS section though is gonna got a few laps to go now. Yeah. He's either going to gain positions or he's going to lose positions. And I think Nilsson knows that as well. So he really needs to make the move on Sajinski as sooner rather than later. But for the Ferrari driver, he's probably needs to defend that position for his life as well. I think this might be one of the few times that he might actually outscore his teammate. Yeah, it's the first time this season that if he finishes in that position, he'll be outscoring his teammate, and by quite some margin as well now. Oh, wow, we're heading into the final lap now. Nilsson, the Estonian, is still attacking the driver of Shizhnitsky as well. Meanwhile, Johansson and Perichki will still maintain first and second now. They've currently been doing that so for quite a long time now at the moment now. We're now back into Koznitsky and Blackwood now. Blackwood has been doing really good, I must say. After Album's, unfortunate DNF, after breaking down after that lockup, he's been doing really well to maintain 12th. It's actually very impressive there. As the Sexy now tries to make another move on Valle. Is this one going to stick here? Everyone is currently fighting for final positions here, and Sassetti and Valle are one of them. It's
going to be into turn number 3. Giuseppe's going to have the inside line. The two are going to go wheel to wheel. It's so close between the two. They're just up and alongside each other. But Valle around the outside will get Giulia Giuseppe for 14th, and Giuseppe does not get the best of exits. Fernando Tost is on the back of the Italian. He's going to have the inside line on the Williams, but Tost cannot find the gap to get past Giuseppe for the time being. So they will hold positions. Fernando Tost has, obviously he's not in last place at the moment, so it's still a good, it's still well done from him. But now then, as Johansson and Parashka started the final lap of the race, Nilsson is going to have one final opportunity to try it. There's Tost, who is going to have a look on the outside. Unfortunately, can't do anything into the turn 15. Nilsson will remain behind Sosnishka for the time being.
tail of the race here. Nelson's absolute amazing performance here, and he's going to cap it all off with one last final gas move on Shishnitsky now. Is he going trying to make it? He's got a great run through turn one. I think it might actually work this time, Yumiran. I think it might actually work this time. It does work. He does it. I think he does it. The Estonian driver does it. He's up into fourth. He does it! The Estonian driver does it! Nelson, what an incredible performance from him! And that is amazing there from the AlphaTauri driver. He absolutely... what a textbook overtake there on the Ferrari driver. And an amazing performance there will give Nelson a well-deserved fourth place for this race.
Yes, indeed. I mean, absolutely fantastic. You really cannot put it into words, really. What a great drive. This is from Emil Nilsson at the moment. And on the final lap here, you have Fernando Tosi going to try to punch past Giulio Cisetti. Cisetti's going to go around the outside, though. Does defend from the McLaren. Nicely done. But coming around the final corner, it looked, everyone saying it's not going to be the title defense season he was hoping for, but it might just be Jesper Johansson rounding the final corner. He's going to prove the naysayers wrong, as for the first time this season, Jesper Johansson wins the Malaysian Grand Prix, and what a drive from the Super Swede. He is back on top for Mercedes.
Absolutely as well, and his first win as well in Sepang as well. Mandic comes home in an impressive third for Racing Point as well. His second consecutive podium as well. Nelson, take a bow, son. You've done amazingly well for fourth place. Trzynski and Graf will complete top 5 and top 6. McIntyre's in 7th. Klaus is in 8th. Luca Farina's in 9th. Cesar makes it a double Racing Points podium. Points finish as well. Kulisic will complete 11th for Renault. Koznitschke will come ahead of Blackwood as well for 12th as well. With pretty good showing there for Blackwood as well. Valle in 14th. Cisetti outplaces Tost for 16th. And Suzu rounds off the finishers in 17th.
And I think finally, now we can breathe out, Jamie. Oh my goodness. So let's go through the finishing positions. I'll take this first page and then you can take the second. So Jesper Johansson, he wins the Malaysian Grand Prix. What a performance from Johansson and Mercedes as a whole, as Parachki finishes second. A very close second, I have to say. 1-2 for Mercedes. Thomas Mandic once again is on the podium. P3 for him, and a great showing from him. Then it is Emil Nilsson in 4th, with Lavmas Asnishkai finishing 5th. Dennis Graf will be finishing 6th, with Lewis McIntyre 7th and Alfred Clausen 8th. Horrible day for Red Bull. And then it is Luca Farina in 9th, with Kai Treshnia finishing 10th.
Kulisic is the best of the Renaults to come home in 11th, followed by Kozinski, does pretty well for Alfa Romeo considering a lackluster performance there, but they've actually managed to climb back in the end for finish 12th. Blackwood capitalizes on Album's misfortunes and finishes in a pretty good 13th as well. Valle, despite a poor start, he actually does pretty well to climb back up to finish in 14th. Cisetti does really well to fend off Tost and Situ to finish in 15th. She'll be proud with that. Tost, after an unfortunate accident there, he will finish in 16th of what it could have been there for the McLaren driver. And Situ is the last of the finishing drivers, and he comes home in 17th as well for the Slovenian. The retirees are Albon and Gamba after some incidents.
Yes, and that will be the end to the Malaysian Grand Prix. So before we go then, let's discuss driver of the day. And I think there is one man we both are thinking about right now, and I will give it to Emil Nilsson, because in an Alpha Tauri, beating 2 Red Bulls and a Ferrari and a McLaren, I mean, that's something that, a lot of people cannot do, and it really goes to show from P9 to P4. It's an absolutely insane performance, and really, I have to say, well done from Emil Nilsson. And I think this really goes to show his true talent that could be achieved in Formula 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you there, because Nilsson actually left it late, but he left it late enough to make the move on the Ferrari driver that actually made it stick, because given that the circuit we've already here, whenever there's a field that spreads up, then the lead driver will always try and get overtaken because he's the one that doesn't have DRS. It's good he left it that late, but man, he actually made such a great overtake there. He overtook a Red Bull, and then he overtook a Ferrari as well. Absolutely amazing there from Nilsson as well. Also, very good there to Perich and Johansson for the first half of the race as well. Those two not giving each other an inch of room whenever they were constantly fighting as well. You could tell both of them were teammates just by how much that they fought each other, and they still managed to build a gap to third place of Mandic as well. Mandic also gets some good recognition as well because he, despite not being involved in any fights, he brought the car home for Racing Point in P3 as well. But yeah, really, it was such an incredible race, and there were so much notable drivers here that had absolutely amazing performances, and even drivers like Albon, who was down in Q2, and then he actually improved himself up to nearly point scoring positions until that incident. He should get some recognition as well, along with a lot of others.